I just want to make clear, Wendy, that I'm happy to answer questions that are, in my mind, clear enough to answer, but it should be made clear that these answers to these questions are for information basis only, and if people are intending to take any legal action, that they should consult a lawyer. So that's clear, because things change with the facts. And so if there's any facts in the questions that I'm not made aware of, proper legal advice can't be given. So these are basic informational questions and basic informational answers based on the question.
Thank you for joining us today, Rocco. So the question today comes from Courtney. Is curbside pickup considered an accommodation, or should mask-exempt persons still be given the same options as a non-exempt person, i.e. in-store or curbside, not just curbside?
Okay, well, let me answer that in two parts. First of all, the idea of accommodation is a human rights code concept, okay? For instance, in Ontario, under the regulations, you are not being accommodated when you have a mask exemption and you go into the store. The regulation stipulates that you do not have to wear a mask at any location if you have an exemption. Therefore, the exemption is part of the masking requirements. So this idea of accommodation is just made up BS in order to infringe your rights not to be masked. It's the same requirement that has people to mask. Does not impose that requirement if you have an exemption. So let me say that first. On the issue of accommodation, which I say doesn't apply to the masking, you're not being accommodated. The law allows you not to mask if you have an exemption. But on the issue of accommodation, is curbside accommodation proper accommodation? That all depends on the facts. So if you do not need to look at or examine the product you want, it could be accommodation. For instance, I want an 8-pack AAA Duracell battery pack. Well, you don't have to look at them, except for the expiry date if they have one. I don't even know if they have one. So that's accommodation. I want to shop for groceries and vegetables and fruits. Well, no, that's not accommodation, because you want to look at them.
Right.
You want to look at what you want to buy, right? Or I want to shop for clothes. Well, no. I've been forced to order shirts online, and it's never what they look like online.
Yeah.
That's not proper accommodation. So it all depends on the product. If the product doesn't need to be seen, smelled, or touched, yeah, you could say that's proper accommodation. But there are very few products like that.
Agreed. And I think the thing that we say as well is, like, if I was wheelchair bound and I came to a store, you wouldn't then say to me, well, no, you can only go curbside. So it's right. The same thing with a mask exemption. A disability is a disability is a disability, right?
Exactly. And no, but I want to highlight, Wendy, that all that discussion is besides the point. The masking laws give you the right not to mask if you're exempt.
Right.
End of story.
Right.
The rest is people taking the law into their own hands, acting like vigilantes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
We are Canadians. We are free. It's meant to be. From sea to shining.